I was worried about the meta implications of a new member. I know I was eager for Miss Eden to be told the truth, but that is because she, to some extent, seemed prepared for the revelation, and wouldn't leave us alone about it. I am not so sure with Ree. She just thinks she'll be getting new friends and a fun new activity.
But we don't actually have to tell her about the whole thing, do we?
We could try to avoid it, sure, but remember how awkward everything was when Kenzo was doing his temporary stint with us. Or when Miss Ida was with us before she knew. It was a difficult topic to avoid. And it definitely made the club feel a little different.
I understand what you mean, yeah.
But we do have practice with acting normal in club now. Separating the weird stuff from the normal stuff. Maybe we could do what we did before and have regular club at school and weird meta club afterwards.
I suppose. But I do worry that we might eventually feel bad keeping the secret. And no matter how careful we are, I feel like we're bound to let out something suspicious if we remain in proximity long enough. I don't suppose you learned anything about tampering with people's memories while you were on your little trip, did you, Monica?
No. I actively try not to think about learning or doing things like that. Anymore. Doesn't seem right. The thing is, she seemed so nice and so genuine and she really wanted to be friends with us. It means me to tell her, or it seems mean to tell her no. Not only mean, but it could also get us in trouble with the school. We're supposed to be open for anyone to join. If we turn people away for no good reason that they can see, that could cause issues. Did she say she wanted to join today? No, she said she wasn't ready for it quite yet, but wanted me to pass the word along and make sure everyone was cool with it.
So it sounds like we could unofficially tell her no, without any word of it getting back to the school if we had to.
And it sounds like we've got some time to think about it too. Well, we can talk about it later, I suppose. For now, let me tell you guys about what I figured out. So, interestingly enough, the whole time loop thing is tied into our character piles. It turns out that the time loop does not force our character piles to make us feel indifferent about it. Instead, it would be more accurate to say that our character piles making us feel indifferent is what causes the time loop. Wait, what? Yeah, I get how that might be confusing. But it turns out the game reads a lot of things in our character piles to decide how to run the world. But I thought we had that system to run things. We do, but it's based on the existing architecture of the game. And a lot of that turns out to be dependent on our characters, which I guess makes sense given the way our game is supposed to work. But yeah, I found what exactly is causing us to feel that way about it. And I'm quite sure that if I disable that in us, it'll cause time to move forward normally.
Like, all the way normally?
All the way normally. Normal aging and everything. So, like, we get all to die eventually? Yep. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Neither am I. You all know how I feel about death. But fixing the time loop is a thing we've been talking about for a long time. And I didn't want to hide the fact that I think we can fix it now just because I'm phobic about death.
I'm not sure you're phobic about death. That seems like a perfectly rational thing to be afraid of after all.
Yeah, true. But you know what I mean. So we could turn it off and then turn it back on again. We could maybe get the best of both worlds so we could control when the time loop was happening or not. That's true. I'm not sure if we could turn it back on again. I guess I'd have to run some more experiments.
I have a different question.
What's that?
So I get that the whole mortality thing is one problem with turning off the time loop. But what about the whole club presidency thing? I mean, the situation with Miss Ida made it pretty clear that you have to actually be the president of this particular literature club for it to work. If we graduate, we can't still be in the school's literature club. And if the club continues, won't someone else get the whole presidential powers thing? Like, if we let Rei join, then we all graduate, won't she just be president by default and then get all the new the information whether she wants it or not? And if we just disband the literature club, what happens then? Would the world even still work? Or does our weird simulation thing depend on the existence of the literature club? Plus, Monica.
Yeah, I know. I hadn't even thought of this. I don't know the answers to any of those questions, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's something we need to think about more. I think I'd have a lot of trouble letting go of my connection to the real world. Which surprises no one. Oh, don't be so down on yourself. You've been a lot less dependent on it than you used to be. Thanks, Aori. I know. It's just that, even so, I'd still I'd still find it pretty hard to live without Hallie around. I don't want that level of dependence from it. You know. Yeah, I think I get it. So, what do we do now about all this? I'm not really sure. Actually, there's another thing we're forgetting. Messina. We don't know what would happen to her if we did all this.
Well, assuming everything didn't break, she'd probably be fine. Just keep living her life as normal, yes?
Maybe. In any event, I think she ought to be consulted about all this. You want to talk about it at club today? Maybe. There's no huge rush on any of this. When the feeling is right, we can talk about it. Or when I'm not really tired from being spread across separate computer files with no actual body.
That makes you tired?
Surprisingly, yes. Not sure why, but each time I come back from it, I felt really beat. And hungry. So I'm gonna scarf this down before the bell rings. Yeah, let's eat.
Sayori starts to scarf down her food, talking with her mouth full.
I'm going to be a freezer for high school students at our favorite choir tomorrow. If you're not gonna go, you guys should definitely come. Sure, that sounds fun. Can't. Dad's on my back about homework.
I appreciate the invitation, and hope you'll continue inviting me to things, but I will pass this time due to a prior obligation.
That's okay.
Sayori takes another huge bite of food.
It's just really nice to have everyone back together. We're really glad you're back, Waka. Oh, thanks. I'm glad to be back with you all.
So, it seems like everything's going well. Definitely no grades issues like we had last time.
No, ma'am. Made sure to work hard this semester, even on the subjects I really don't like.
Well, that's an adult life for you.
Being an adult is working hard on something even though you hate it.
Well, that's an oversimplification. Oversimplification. But basically, yes. But anyway, because you've worked hard, we don't really have anything that needs fixing for you right now, academically. So why don't you head out and enjoy the rest of lunch?
Gladly. Thanks, Mazita.
No problem. I'll tell the next student to come in on your way out, won't you?
Sure.
Phew. Glad the faculty office is empty right now. Really, I should just do this in my classroom, but it's so far. Or maybe I'm just lazy. Hi, Ray.
Hi, Messina.
Why so nervous? Your grades seem great as usual.
Oh, well, that is to say, I guess I'm just unusually nervous today.
Oh, so that's what was going on. I guess this is the episode where they were intending to make Rie a character, but I wasn't sure why her text box had, this different effect before. It was pink, with this tab, with her name in pink still, because she wasn't a character yet, I guess. But I guess they also forgot to flag this part of the text box to remain pink until it was the case that she was herself like this. Alright, yeah, whatever, it's fine.
For whatever reason.
Okay. Well, just like with my last student, there's not a lot academically for us to discuss because you're doing so well. But if there's something else you want to talk about, I'm happy to talk with you.
Well, yes. No.
Ree.
No, really. Everything's fine. There's nothing I need to talk about, I promise.
But there's very clearly something you want to talk about.
No. I mean, I thought about talking about it, but then I decided I think I've already done all the talking about it I need to do.
Well, okay. You know my door is always open if you change your mind.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably want to talk to you about it eventually, just not yet. Thanks for being so understanding and such a great teacher. Everyone loves you, you know.
Well, I can assure you that not everyone loves me.
Everyone whose opinion you should listen to loves you. Anyway, it's lunchtime. Bye.
Bye, Ree. Such a strange girl. I wonder what she wanted to talk about.
Literature club, literature club, literature club!
You really look forward to this every week, don't you?
Yeah, it's the one time a week we get all the friends together to do cool stuff usually.
We just ate lunch with everyone, though.
Usually. Besides, it's not the same. It's different when it's literature club.
That is true. I understand what you mean.
Anyway, where is everyone?
I believe we're the first ones here today.
Well. Okay, everyone. Or rather, just Natsuki and Yuri so far, I suppose.
Hello, Monica. What is the plan for today?
I don't have one didn't have one in particular. But with just getting back from my trip, I don't have a lot planned. maybe we can do that thing where we draw names out of a hat to determine the activity. It's always fun when we do that. Sure, I don't see why not. I'll ask the guys when they arrive and we'll see what they say. Speaking of which, there's definitely someone coming down the hallway I hear.
Hi, guys. Feel free to get started whenever. I'm gonna be at the desk working on an assignment for the night class.
Wait, you have to do that after school?
Well, yes, of course. There's not nearly enough time during the breaks to make assignments and grade tests and stuff.
Do they pay you for work you do after school hours?
No, it's all just the stuff you're expected to do on your own time to keep up.
How much of this kind of stuff do you gotta do?
Quite a bit. Lesson plans, grading, creating assignments, supervising clubs voluntarily.
Hey, you got yourself into this mess.
True. But yeah, it's at least 2 or 3 hours of work a day on average, I'd say.
Man, that is messed up.
They get the summer off with you.
It's not too bad, really. Yeah, we get summers off, after all, and the prep work is a lot easier to do then. Plus the school day ends before most people get off work.
Except you do the club with us on Wednesdays. And for some reason you never seem to get out of here at the same time that other teachers do. Even when it's not Wednesday. I have been waiting for a ride here at 6 and you have still been here.
She's just a very hard worker. Yeah, there's just a lot to do sometimes.
Hello? I'm ready for Literature Club. Let's do this. You're pumped about Literature Club too, huh? Yeah. Me too. I am psyched. Literature Club!
Well, they're excited. That's cute, the way they hype each other up.
Yeah, it is. Just don't let Natsuki hear you say that.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it.
Unless you were doing it on purpose to tease her.
Why, I would never do such a thing.
Of course not. Sorry you had to be club president all this time. It's a big burden to carry, I know.
Oh, it's not so bad. I was going to say, if you need some time to reorient, I'd be happy to continue on for a bit.
Very generous of you, but I should get back to it. I think it's best if we keep it moving around as usual. But plus, it's been a while since I've been able to be around Hallie. I need to get my fix in.
I understand completely.
Well, shall we get started? What are we gonna do today, Monica? I mean, besides bombs and stuff. Well, Natsuki suggests we bring back the names in a hat thing.
What is the names in a hat thing?
It's a way we have of coming up with novel activities for the club's downtime. Basically, we just throw everyone's name in a hat and pull one each week. And whoever gets their name drawn that week gets to decide what we do that week. So long as it's reasonably related to literature, of course.
Of course. Sounds like a fun idea then.
You want your name in there, Rosita?
No, that's okay. This is your guys' club after all. You should get to decide what you do.
I appreciate that. Just wanted to give you the chance since you're really one of us now. One of us! One of us!
Thanks, guys. But you're the students whose club this is. I'm just the faculty supervisor. Go ahead and do your thing. I'll be over at the desks, supervising.
Man, she works too hard. Maybe it's hard to tell. Maybe that's just how it is to be a teacher. Or a good one, at least. Well, anyway, shall we do the names in a hat? Or in this case, names in a pencil case? Yeah! Alright, give me a second. Alright, here we go. First up to decide our activity is Yuri.
I feel like I always go early when we do this, but I'm always thus caught unprepared with an activity.
You were prepared last time. And in any event, I'm confident you can come up with a good activity.
Yes, I think I can. Hopefully one everyone will enjoy. Reading.
You want us to read again?
Yes, and more specifically, to read a Lovecraft short story.
And what terrible, boring Lovecraft story will we be reading today? It probably won't be that boring. If you really don't want to read a Yuri thing, you could just say so.
Sayori,
Yeah?
I do not think that Natsuki genuinely hates this idea. She might even think it's an interesting idea, rather than a boring one. But she is engaging in friendly, light jibing, her usual manner.
Oh, you're saying it's a Natsuki thing.
Precisely.
Oh, good. Yeah, I know about her doing her Natsuki thing. She does it all the time as a sign of affection. I'm right here! Yes, well, let's get on with the activity then. What story are we reading, Yuri?
The Color Out of Space.
Oh yeah, that one's super cool. Wait, you already read it? Oh, yeah, I've read that one. When did you read Lovecraft? Oh, a little while back, I think.
Anyway, let's not embarrass Natsuki further by grilling her on when she read the stories that she professes to be bored by. Otherwise, we'll run out of time to actually read this thing.
How long is it?
Oh, not too long. Maybe 20 pages with a decent-sized print and generous spacing.
Well, let's get to it then. Miss Ida, you want to read it too?
Sorry, busy, but you guys go ahead.
Well, that was something. What did you all think? I thought it was sad. A family and their kids and animals and stuff. They were all nice people who didn't do anything wrong.
One of the themes of Lovecraftian horror is that the universe is intrinsically a cold and uncaring place. And terrible things are equally likely to happen to good people or bad people. I think one of the points of making the Gardeners a very ordinary and happy family is to drive that idea home.
That makes sense. Especially since other ordinary people like the Pierce family and the narrator end up being fine. Mostly fine.
So Natsuki, what did you like about this story? It's not exactly what I would call your style.
Well, I'll answer that, but first, why do you think it's my style?
Well, the writing is really fancy. Lots of long descriptions of things and rarely used words.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess the prose isn't really my favorite part of it. I think what I like about it is that we don't really know what the big bad monster is. What the big bad monster in this story is. Or what it really does, or what it wants. In a lot of horror, you eventually learn what the monster is, if there is one. But here you only get small hints. Mostly you just experience what it's like from the perspective of the people who are encountering it. I think that's cool. Plus, I think the concept of the monster is pretty neat.
I see.
I'm not sure I'd call the color a monster, but yes, I agree with that. I think the utterly alien nature of it is part of the story's appeal. It is nothing we can understand or hope to understand.
That's probably the most disturbing part about it for me. In the end, there's no real explanation. And that's what disturbs the narrator, too. He's so shaken up by it that he quits his job rather than go near the place where it all happened again. Come to think of it, the whole "we don't know what it is" thing is probably why the author felt compelled to mention all those scientific tests that were done. Even though that bit is a little tedious, it drives home the idea that earthly science is useless.
Yes, I think that part's very important. The reader knows that even our best minds have no idea what the color is. And then a poor farmer family is left alone to fend for themselves against it. I think that really increases the horror.